would go a little insane if that happened. So it works out well.
Can you do the rheumatism line?
Rheumatism.
Just do questions. When you and Rob are writing the jokes for the reviews, do you find they flow quite naturally, or do you ever kind of get stuck for a little while?
Well, what happens is that the way it works is we'll sit down, we'll watch a movie, and it's like watching Mystery Science here. We'll just shout out jokes. And anyone I'm like, oh, that's good, you know, I'll write it down. So you'll just have, if you were to read, like, the list of notes, they make no sense. It's like, you know, with a banana, you know, honeybee. I mean, it's like, it makes no sense, but I know what they're gonna mean when I go in and write the script. And then I go and I see which ones will actually connect best to, you know, a joke that can actually be fleshed out, or if it's something that's like, hey, this is just a line, or should I make like a big routine out of this? How big an impact does this have where I should really address a lot of it? So I did find that when I started off, a lot of it came naturally, but as you go longer and longer, you do, that's what you said, you do have to put more time into it. Because after a while it does get a little too repetitive, and I do remember a point where I was like, I'm being too repetitive. It was the Pound Puppies movie and the Pebble and the Penguin, something about the peas. And when I was doing those two reviews, I'm like, well, I'm doing everything that I did originally. I'm going back to the roots and stuff like that. Why? How come I don't feel like this is working? And I realized I'm doing exactly that. I'm doing what I did at the beginning. People have seen that. So you have to take, at least I do, you have to take more time to find the fresh stuff, to find the new stuff, to try something a little different, and not always just do the obvious job.
Okay, then second question. Speaking of Rob, if I turn over there one more time, will he be there?
Mr. Critic? Hi. So, two questions, of course. How many times do you need to watch a movie before you're ready to start writing the review?
I mean, while we're watching it, like I said, I'm taking notes, so that's one time. And then I'll watch it again when writing the actual review, just to see, okay, can I put this voice over here? What I need to, do you need to see me when I'm saying this or whatever? And then I just go right into the filming of it. And then as I'm editing the clips in, obviously I'll sort of see the film again. So roughly about 3 times I have to watch the film at least.
And second question, aside from The Room, what is your favorite so bad it's awesome movie?
It's a toss-up between Commando and Dungeons and Dragons. Those are so much fun.
I only have one question.
Go for it.
How do you choose the movies that you review?
It's sort of a toss-up. I have to have some knowledge of it. You know, whether I saw it advertised when I was younger or I hear people really talking about it, you know, I have to have some knowledge. I can't just go in cold turkey. And it has to be something I know I can get material out of. That's actually one of the reasons I'm not going to do Small Soldiers, because while it's bad, I don't think it's god-awful. I don't think it's like the worst. You know, it's just kind of, you know, dull. You know, I could get a few jokes, but not that many. So, you know, again, we're just sort of catching ourselves. It's like, okay, we know we can't get anything here, so let's move on to the next one. But yeah, a lot of times I'll go to the forums or emails or something like that. I mean, I do look at them. I do like take requests and stuff like that.
Insano! Still standing on your tippy toes, Critic?
Nice.
I'm not gonna keep doing that. Your Felix the Cat review. Did you honestly hate it? Like, oh my god!
It was really hard to sit through.
I know. I sat through it months before you even did it, and I'm pretty sure you didn't see this part because you just went as credits roll. But if you sit through the credits, like right at the end, it's dedicated to the memory of somebody.
Ooh.
I don't know. I didn't look it up. I just.
Out of respect for the dead, you're not going to look up who it is.
Exactly. Oh yeah, and last thing, I don't have a question, but I have an answer.
Okay.
Da 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 da. Everybody. Da 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 da
You had a pause there. You had a pause. What you do is
I'll be back.
It's okay.
2 questions. Are you like when I see the reviews, like everyone on that site, on your site, is scared of Sage. I've just noticed that. Like I remember Brad, he had a blue drink, and then like he told you in one of his Brad tries, and then you're scared of it because you were putting like freaking grenades on people. You're like, what the hell? Like, is he like really a scary fellow, or is he?
No, I mean he plays it for it. No, I will say he's very fond of like shock humor and scary humor and stuff like that. You know, and he likes to play it up. And in reality, he's a nice guy. He's fine. You know, he's just someone that like, you know, that's just sort of his angle. That's sort of his. And even actually, really, in his typical game reviews, I mean, he's much more laid back. We just sort of. When we met him in real life, we just found he really has this dark side that he likes to, you know, poke fun of. So we just sort of started writing it in, you know, into like Kick-Ass and stuff like that.
And one more thing.
Bad credit card.
I already did. Show up to the rehearsals.
I didn't know there were more than one questions allowed. Okay, have you ever received any negative attention, say, flack or anything concerning the films that you review? Like
Never! No, like all the time. I mean, that's what you have to know going into the field. I mean, you're not going to please everybody all the time. I mean, there's always going to be somebody who disagrees or heck, just doesn't like the way you do something or hates your voice or hates your face or something like that. You just got to know that going in. I was like, that's fine. Don't watch it.
There's no threat from any of the film's producers?
Oh, well, so obviously. No, I will say, I mean, most of the ones where people were like offended or something like that have actually made it public. You know, unlike the Mara Wilson thing, we turned that into a joke. Obviously, she was a great sport. You know, or was so we turned that into a joke. The one that I didn't bring out because I don't think it's, you know, you can't make a ton of jokes about it and stuff, but I was sort of like, was that, you know, I brought up that I was going to review Doug's first movie, and the daughter of the creator got in contact with me. And I was just like, hi. And she was actually very nice. She was like, you know, I just want you to know that, you know, my father worked very hard on it, and I think you're very funny, and just know that my father's gotten tons and tons of emails from people named Doug who did say that the show ruined their lives, so. and I was just like, I'm sorry. I actually did go back and re-edit it a little bit. I mean, not much. I mean, essentially what I wrote is still there, because again, it's a character, and I told her it's a character. I mean, it's all for youngs and stuff like that, but it is hard. When you get more and more popular, it is sort of strange thinking, you know what, try your best to really be fair in these reviews, or stick it to the character, you know, have it be that comes from the character. Because you don't want to be, like, just nasty mean, you know. If it's more nasty than it is funny, you know, I try to stay away from it.
So no lawsuits or any threat letters?
Not yet.
I hope. Have you ever thought about doing any movies in the form of documentaries or docudramas?
I mean, no, but I will say if I ever did do one, I'm very fascinated by depression. I woke up one morning and I actually realized that I know more people with depression than I do without. And I'm like, that's fascinating. You know, so I know a good deal about it, and I know how tough it is to deal with. And it's one of those things where I don't always know if people understand. Whenever I come across someone that's like, whatever, being a jerk or something like that, I always try to say, you know, everybody comes from something. They come from some environment, some background. And it's really hard sometimes, and we don't know what they came from or what their condition is or what they're putting up with. So I really try my best not to just put them in a category. You know, as the critic I can, because he's, you know, that's his character. But I also try to make him look like a loser. That's what's funny, is that he's, you know, not doing anything that great either. But no, when it comes to actual people, I try very much not just to, oh, he's a jerk, she's a pain, and blah, blah, blah. I mean, everybody has a background, everyone has an environment, everybody has a
Okay. 2 films I like to see.
Oh, well, we'll make this last question.
It will be.
Okay.
2 things I like to see you review. One is a movie called Wizards. It was made in 1977.
Oh, I've seen that, yeah.
The first animated film of the fantasy. You can find it on YouTube.
Oh yeah, no, I haven't. Yeah.
There's a documentary called Last Day of the Dinosaurs. It's a computer animated thing. All the way through, there's no people. There's a story about dinosaurs dying. You can find that on YouTube. I'd like to see a review of that too.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Thank you.
Cool, absolutely.
Hi, I was wondering, why did you start?
Well, my mom and dad really liked each other. Oh, you mean the review? Honestly, it just started as a hobby. You know, it was something I was just kind of doing for fun. I hit it really big with these 5-second movies. If you don't know, they're movies that, you know, like, they're clips from these famous movies condensed down to like 5 seconds, roughly 5 seconds. Like Titanic in 5 seconds would be a guy saying, "The ship can't sink." You see the ship sink. The end. You know, and those really caught on. I mean, really big on YouTube. So I'm just like, oh, okay, I know I can edit well. I want to see if I can actually do like a character well. So I started doing sketches and the Nostalgia Critic. Those were catching on very well. But I kept getting kicked off of YouTube. You know, copyright infringement. So then Mike Mashad came along and said he's starting this company, Channel Awesome, and he likes my talent. He sees like they have a lot of views and stuff, and he pretty much just made the offer of a lifetime. Said, you know, I will give you a website. I will make it so that you can make money on this if you come work for us. It's just nobody was making money on this at the time. You know, so this was really a new idea, and I took a chance. I said, okay, let's try this, and it's still paying off.
And if you could fondue with anyone on Channel Awesome, who would it be?
Santa Christ, of course. He makes really good fondue.
What duet song would you love to hear Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger sing?
Maybe I Had the Time of My Life. That'd be good. And I put it on the yard. Oh, thank you.
He's one of us now.
Hi. One of my curious questions is basically from Hollywood. What is overused personally to you, Hollywood overuses? Mine is characters coming back from the dead.
Well, the ones that really, the two that drive me insane. I actually did a video called like my most annoying cliches that really drives me nuts. And the two that it's not Nostalgia Critic, it's just as me. But the two that really drive me insane. Number one is bullies. I'm sick of bullies that are just boring and not interesting. They're just there to be the villain, and they're not made interesting, and they're so boring to me. And number two, which usually ties in with the same thing, is when a character tells a lie in a movie and the whole movie is based around the lie, but then they're found out or there's a misunderstanding or something, and you have to go through that half hour of the other characters going, "What? You lied? I don't like you anymore, but, and then you play the pop song, they're sitting there shaking their, "Well, I don't like that person anyway. Well, it was a dumb idea anyway. We're miserable, and really, this is how the movie's gonna end. I swear, we're gonna end it all being miserable. There's not gonna be some sort of comedic, climax where the villain gets their comeuppance and we realize that actually the lie was more truthful than the truth. I hate that. I'm just sick of it. I hate it when I can spot it so early. And I'm just like, no, I know what the third act of the movie is. It's gonna be so boring. I'm gonna have to suffer through it. You're gonna play the pop song while it's going on, and I'm gonna hate it. And so, yeah. You had your chance.
And my last question is, we all know you reviewed Sonic the Hedgehog, and then you requested to review Sonic Armor. Have you ever been asked to review Sonic X?
Probably. I don't even know what it is, but I'm sure I've been asked.
Would you do it if you had the chance?
If I had a chance to actually sit down, if I had time to sit down and watch these shows, probably. But I mean, I don't want to talk about a show unless I have, I can actually represent it, because even though it's something that's probably bad, I want to be sure I'm getting down what's bad about it. Otherwise it's really not fair to the subject material and the fans who want to see it. So if I had time to sit down and watch it, probably. But yeah, I know I'm not going to have time.
One more. If you had to choose between a werewolf and a vampire, who would it be?
Werewolves are awesome.
Rock on!
That's actually the one thing I do, even though it's not technically werewolves, I actually do sort of like the way the werewolves look in Twilight. It's just a big fucking wolf, and I think that's cool. So that's like the one thing I think is kind of cool.
I just wanted to know what was the absolute best con you've ever been to?
The best con I've ever been to, honestly, is one I just had about a month ago. Kineticon I really liked. Most of it was because Brent was there and Team 4-Star was there, and we did that great reading of 50 Shades Grey. Oh, and Uncle Yo was there. I mean, just everybody I friggin' love is like at this con, and it was so cool, and I just loved it. And everything was just so laid back, and we were just constantly throwing jokes off each other, and then partying, and we're like, and you know, of course, the 50 Shades of Grey reading was great. So I just have real fond memories of that con.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Hey again. Hey. I'm just really curious. Are you playing any Raiders of the
Any new Raiders of the Story arc? Not that I can think of. We'll see. Maybe some will change. I mean, nothing's in reason. Everything's just focusing on getting to Bully Flea Dog.
Yeah. Oh, that actually looks really good too.
Awesome.
Just. I have another one. What is it like to work with your brother?
Oh, I hate it. No, it's great because, I mean, it's really fascinating how much, I mean, in my opinion, I think he is a little funnier than me, but I think I'm good at, like, he can come up with stuff on the fly really well, really fast. But I think I'm good at sort of putting it in a script format and sort of editing it down. Even he'll admit, it's like, his stuff is all, like, the original script for To Bully Flea, his first draft, it's like 300 pages. And still, like, half the characters didn't get along. So, I mean, it's like, he really likes to write, and he's a great writer, he's really good at it. But, you know, people's attention on the internet, you know, is only so long. But it's really great because we both have a very similar mindset, and a lot of us, like when we were watching the closing ceremonies at the Olympics, I think there's about 3 times where we said the exact same joke at the exact same time. I mean, it is kind of like eerie how much, when it comes to humor, like we're just on the same page. So it's really great.
So you've never had any problems? Or?
Oh, we've had disagreements, sure. But, I mean, the thing about it that we both sort of realized is that whose ever project it is, because he's done a few projects, like he did this great behind-the-scenes mockumentary of Kick-Ass, and it's great. It's so funny. And something that we both have to respect is that even if we have our disagreements, it's like, it's their project, it's their thing, and we have to respect that. Because when he was making that mockumentary, I'm like, oh, this is gonna bomb, oh, this is so not gonna work out. But when it was all put together, I'm like, this is hilarious, like, this is better than the movie. And I really found that out. I'm like, okay, you know, just let a person do their thing and wait until the final product to see whether or not it works, because a lot of time you're not gonna know until it's all put together. So that is something that I think we do have an understanding of. Even if we disagree, it's like whoever's directing, whose ever project it is, you respect that.
Okay, now I'm really curious. What were those jokes at the closing ceremony?
Oh, what was it? There's a woman named like Schmidt or something. We're both like, the Schmidt hit the fan, you know, stuff like that. I think like when Eric Idle said shit at the Olympics, I mean, we both just went, hell yeah! I can't. Oh, when Timothy Spall, I think is his name, came out of like Big Ben or whatever and doing the speech, we were both just like, you know, okay, he's drunk. This isn't supposed to happen. He just came out, started talking, and everyone's just like, go with it.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
Hello.
Hello.
Once it comes time to film your reviews, how much of your script is memorized and how much do you improvise?
For Nostalgia Critic, it's almost all scripted. It's very rare that I improvise anything, but for all the other videos, it's all improvised.
All of it?
Yeah, Bomb Reviews all improvised, Ask the Guys all improvised. The Video Game Confessions. Video Game Confessions, I have some idea where it's gonna go. But all the others, yeah, it's all just made up.
Okay, and second question, which one was more fun for you to film and put together, Suburban Nights or Kick-Ass?
I mean, the easier one was Kick-Ass, yeah. I mean, these anniversaries, sadly, they get bigger and longer and therefore harder. That's what, again, that's what she said. But they get better, and I think To Bully Flea's the best one. So I think everyone's really gonna like it. And I will say, To Bully Flea is probably the most fun to edit because there's just so many creative, fun jokes in it. So it's gonna be really good.
Good, because I'm really excited for it. Okay.
So, To Boldly Flee is coming out soon, and I know we're all looking forward to it. But Channel Awesome has a lot of talent behind it, business-wise and acting and writing-wise. So, for the next step in Channel Awesome, would you like to see it turn into a movie production kind of studio where that you crank out movies more frequently?
We're trying to get more shows going. First, if we do want to go into films, I mean, we're not closed off to that, but we're much more leaning towards, it's always sort of been a focus on shows. So that's probably what you're going to see more of. In terms of films and stuff, you might. But the first thing we want to focus on is getting more shows out there.
Thank you.
Sure.
Sparkle, sparkle, sparkle.
Yeah, sparkle, sparkle, sparkle!
So my question is, have you ever kind of started a review and then thought it was going to be amazing, and then when you actually started doing it, it turned out not?
Oh yeah, oh lots of times. I thought Three Ninjas was going to be hilarious, and nobody remembers it. I wouldn't remember it either. Actually, both the Pound Puppies and the Pebble and the Penguin, I thought those were going to be like amazing. Like, this is going right back to the roots, and it's going to be great. I'm like, this is just like everything else I'm doing. This is sort of like, and then they're fine, they're okay, you know. But it's like, nah, I gotta step this up. I'm trying to think. There's any other one where it's just like, wow, what a reaction, you know, like everybody really hated it or something. I don't know. I'm sure there is one. Just at the top of my head, I can't think of it. But those are the ones that stick out.
Was there anything that never actually made it to actually be on the internet?
No. I usually air everything that that I put together. So, I mean, not that I can think of. I mean, there's certainly stuff I edit out before I go to it. If I'm like, this joke doesn't work, or I should keep that out. But no, anything that I put up, I just keep up.
All right, thank you very much.
That's what she said.
Well, I'm back again. I got a few other questions. First of all, what else are you going to do that's Stallone related? I mean, I know that you focus a lot on
Probably just impressions.
No, aside from the impressions.
I'll probably do as the Bum review, even though I think it comes out this week, but I'll get to as the Expendables 2. I'll get to that.
But no other Nostalgia Critic reviews?
I don't know.
Like, what about Stop or My Mom Will Shoot?
That one, see, comedies are tough because there's only so many times you can say, that's not funny. And that gets really tricky. So, Stallone, because we were going to do a Stallone month once, but when we were looking at the films, we're like, there's actually not enough that would be entertainingly bad. You know, he's made tons of bad movies, but they're just sort of dull. There's only about like 3 or 4 that are like amazingly, spectacularly bad, and they're ones I already reviewed. So Stallone's trickier to do than Schwarzenegger. Schwarzenegger's are so enjoyably horrible. I mean, most of them are, and Stallone is, or even if they're good, they're, you know, so hokey and fun and blah, blah, blah. Stallone's a little trickier.
Van Damme next.
Van Damme. Nah, he just makes me cry.
What about romantic comedies? Like, are there, well, not.
Well, the thing with romantic comedies do so much, so many of them are the same. You know, like I said, it's the bully, the misunderstanding, the like, just gonna marry the snob, you know, I mean, and all that stuff. I don't know, there's not that many that are like spectacularly, horrendously bad, unless you count Twilight as a comedy, which I would, but I think the internet's talked enough about that.
Yeah. And one last one, have you ever thought of a crossover where you would hate a movie, but then whoever would be coming out would be like liking the movie, and then both of you would just be like kind of trying to best each other out? Like, you kind of did that with Moulin Rouge, but have you ever thought of one like where it's like a debate or an all-out war?
Well,
so
where it actually changes my mind in the end, or just like it's a friggin' war?
More like both sides are like, I hate this movie, and the other guy is like, I like this movie. And you just can't.
I mean,
agree.
we sort of, yeah. Moulin Rouge sort of did that. Well, what's another one? I think Diamanda actually did like heavy metal. I'm trying to think of what else. I want to say I've seen that a couple times. That was actually one of the trickier things to do with the Scooby-Doo one, was that, you know, having the young me like it. You know, I was just like, you know what? I've done this so much, though. At some point, I had to have him just say, nah, this sucks.
But have you ever had like, you've had conversations with everyone on the site, of course, but have you ever had like one where you just are talking with someone on the site and you're like, and a movie gets brought up and you're like, oh, I like this movie, and then it's like, no, but I hate this movie, and then you just go out.
Oh sure, I mean we're a bunch of
forever.
critics, of course we do. Yeah.
But like, have you ever thought like one of those
That make it a
made
video?
into a review? Or has it just always been like?
Only if we could find some real comedy with it, you know. I mean, we can talk about it in terms of like this is good for jokes. It's a little trickier, or I've just done them, like Moulin Rouge. You know, Brent does like Moulin Rouge. You know, so that was fun to really incorporate in. So yeah, nothing I can think of, but if I do, I'll do it.
All right, thank you.
Awesome.
Hi there. First of all, have you ever given a thought to doing a mindfuck month? Because a long time ago you did a top 11 list of your favorite mindfucks. Have you ever thought of like just doing a month of stuff like Raggedy Ann and Andy the musical, just a whole month of that?
A lot of them I already sort of talk about, and you know, or a lot of them just have scenes. It's more difficult to find a movie that the whole thing is like that. I mean, there are a couple, but again, ones that lead to a lot of comedic stuff. You know, to make a whole review on is a little bit more tricky. I have thought about maybe doing the Raggedy Ann one, but ultimately I'm just like, because I think I have too much respect for Richard Williams. And the film does look awesome, and it is creative, and the songs are great, and blah, blah, blah. It just makes no goddamn sense. But, I don't know. If I think of enough movies, maybe I will.
Secondly, what is kind of like your schedule for making a review? Because you sort of make it on like a weekly basis. Do you have like a schedule where like Monday you watch the movie?
Yeah,
Tuesday
John, I'll tell you exactly what it is. Wednesday we watch the film, and we just shout jokes and write down notes. Thursday I'll write the script. Friday I'll film it. Saturday I try to make a day off, that rarely happens. Sunday I just edit down any parts, you know, just the lines pretty much and the different reactions and stuff. Then Monday I actually put the film clips in, you know, and polish, make it a review. And then Tuesday is another sort of bleed over day in case anything else goes longer. Which doesn't sound that bad, except for the fact that I had to do 2 other videos that week too. So, you know, it's squeezing that all in. But Nostalgia Critic obviously is always the #1 priority in that.
Cool. Yeah. And is it true you really did get engaged?
God, everyone's asking if I got engaged. No, I got married.
Because my sister married you in her own head. So, news.
I'm sorry I cheated on her.
Yes, be careful in the photo shoot. She might attack you from behind. She's got kind of a misery thing going on.